Welcome back everybody to Formula 1 Weekly. This is the second weekly episode of my brand new news show covering all the news and goss from the world of Formula 1 and Formula 2, presented here on the F1 Reviews channel. Here we go then, week number 2, week commencing the 22nd of January 2018. We've got a few juicy stories in for you today, starting here with the Freeview TV deal. So we've had some more upsetting news in the world of Formula 1. Not so much for us British fans, but for the Italian fans, the Freeview TV is gone. Okay? And you might think this doesn't affect you, but it really does, no matter where you are around the globe. If you don't know, I mean, it's really sad, but here in the UK, we will be losing free to view Formula 1 at the end of this season. This coming season will be the last one. Channel 4, it's their last run. It's only their third season using the Formula 1 licence, and it's going to be stripped from them. And I think that's such a shame. I really do. The majority of people who watch F1 watch on Freeview. People who are getting into the sport watch on Freeview. They don't pay before they know what it is. And I think it's such a bad way to set it up for future generations. Yes, the fans now, the die-hard fans, will be happy to pay, but the more casual fans, I'm sure they won't be happy to pay, and that will have a knock-on effect with the amount of merchandise sold, the amount of people that will actually go to the Grand Prix, and I think it will result in the slow decaying of the sport, especially when Formula E is Freeview. Formula 2 isn't Freeview. That's not been Freeview now for quite some time, and I've got to watch that. I really struggle to keep up with Formula 2 because it's not Freeview. So that's a big shame. However, in Germany, Sky Germany, whatever their name is, I can't really pronounce the German pronunciation. I mean, I could give it a go, but I don't want to waste your time. However, what's interesting there is that they failed to keep the rights. The Freeview or free-to-air German TV channels managed to keep hold of enough races that Sky Germany were like, nah, we're good, we don't want this, we're out. And they are, they're out. So in Germany, it's all fine and dandy. I mean, well, it's not, because they had to have a Grand Prix every other year, but that's a separate issue. We don't need to tackle that one today. But the announcement is that we've lost Freeview in Italy, and the trend could continue across the globe. We've just got to hope that Liberty Media do sort this out, because this was a mess put in place by Bernie Ecclestone. But Liberty Media, they've been good so far, so let's hope that they can keep improving. Let's really do. On to the next story then. An interesting one. So you may have heard about this, you may not, but in 2015, Sauber and Force India put in a complaint to the European Commission complaining about the sporting decisions concerning the running of the sport. Pretty much a direct complaint about Bernie Ecclestone and the fact that the smaller teams like Sauber and Force India didn't get a say. And you look at the rest of the teams that were in the sport at the time that didn't get a say, well, they don't exist anymore. So they can't complain, can they? And now Liberty Media have come in. Now Liberty Media have sorted this all out, given everyone an equal say, which I can't believe that wasn't in it before, but it really wasn't. It's made the sport so much better, as we've seen throughout this season, and I think it will keep progressing as the seasons go on. And they finally made the decision to retract these complaints, and I think that's perfect for Force India and Sauber, who are looking to improve even more this season, if that's possible for Force India, and just in general for Sauber Alfa Romeo. And that's the end of that story there. Nothing too major, but it's nice to see that the teams have their support behind Liberty Media. Okay, so a bit more interesting now, something a bit more juicy that I'm sure you guys will want to hear, and that is 3 more launch dates for the 2018 cars. Oh, it's less than a month away now, guys. I actually can't wait for some of these, and the 3 we've been given this week is Williams, the earliest one yet. Oh my god, in 16 days time, on the 15th of February, that's, hang on a sec, it's 31 days in January, isn't it? Ugh, I mean 17 days, ugh, killer, oh well. I can wait. Just about 17 days. That's very exciting. Then Sauber on the 20th of February and Renault also on the 20th of February. Sauber, we think we know what their livery is going to look like. It's going to look like the one they presented when they announced their partnership with Alfa Romeo, but we're not 100% sure. But we're 99%. I think we can safely say that. Renault put out a little teaser image. I might put it up on the screen now if I've been able to get it without getting copyrighted. Does that indicate to you that the car's going to be fully yellow? Or are they trying to hint that it's going to be black with like a yellow outline? Who knows, it might just be them playing with us, messing with us. But I do love this. This is my favourite time of year. We're still waiting for Red Bull, Toro Rosso, Force India and the All-American team Haas. And I definitely think all four of those cars will be very interesting to see what concepts they come up this year with liveries, especially the Red Bull Aston Martin pairing. There's rumours that there's going to be a complete change with that livery. Of course, we saw the Toro Rosso complete change in livery last season. Oh, what a beautiful one it was. Beautiful car from Toro Rosso this season just gone. I think it'll be similar. However, they are with Honda this year, so even they could just throw a spanner in the works. Who knows? But they're all to come in the middle of February. The next story. Once again, we move back onto the TV licensing side of things. A bit boring for some, but not for others, especially myself, as I'm definitely a Channel 4 fanboy. I think I've tested Sky before. I just prefer how they do it on Channel 4. I don't know if that's because I'm a fan of Ben Edwards over Crofty. Crofty, for some reason, sometimes can really wind me up with little things he says, but that might just be because I just think Ben Edwards is great and I love David Coulthard. He is a ledge bomb. He's old DC, so there may be a bit of favouritism there, and I'm sure if I watch Crofty for a few races I'll get used to him. I'm sure I would, and I think the other guys over at Sky are great. So it's going to be a mix, and I think Will Buxton might be heading over that way, potentially over to the Sky Sports side, and I'm a big fan of Will Buxton, so who knows? Who knows? But that's a topic again, another topic of conversation for another video. I keep check of these little things I say. Don't worry, do not worry. I'm going to be doing little Q&A videos, and let's not get more sidetracked. Let's move on to the next story, which is the Channel 4 live races have been announced. So all the races will be covered live on Sky Sports here in the UK. All of them will be covered on Channel 4, however only 10 will be live on Channel 4 and the rest will be highlights. And those 10 races include Bahrain, Baku, Monaco, Austria and Britain as a double header, Belgium after the summer break, Singapore, Japan and USA as a double header, and the season finale in Abu Dhabi. So half the season pretty much, not too bad. It's better than we've had before on the old Channel 4, and that's all there really is to say. That's what we've got. We've got to put up with it. If you don't like it, pay the extra money, watch it on Sky. Easy days, easy dollar. So that's the end of the Formula 1 news this week. Nothing too interesting really, although I've still got Daytona to cover in this episode. I'm going to chuck that in somewhere, and a few more little snippets of news here and there. Formula 2 now. We always cover Formula 2, or try to cover Formula 2 in these Formula 1 weekly, or Formula Weekly videos I should say, episodes. But there's been no news whatsoever in Formula 2. You go on their official website, and the latest thing was the announcement of George Russell being in the series for next season, which was out on the 17th of January. So really quiet on that sense, and there's been no further updates to driver lineups whatsoever. So since we last spoke, there's been no update in the world of Formula 2, and so we can just leave that story there today, can't we? Yeah. Also, I'm going to cover here today, if you haven't seen on my channel already, if you're new to the channel, I'm seeing loads of you guys are at the moment. I think it's through the prediction video, very controversial. I'll be covering a little update once the pre-season is up. But if you're new around here, you might not have seen that I like to do Formula E news as well. This isn't covered on the Formula Weekly series, however it's covered in its own series called Formula E Weekly. Now, something that's come out in Formula E, which I think that you should all be aware of, is that they too will now be using the halo and this is a real big push now from the FIA to make all open-seater races into pretty much Halo races. Again, more of that is over on my older videos on Formula E, so links as always to all the stories will be in the description, so if you want to learn a bit more about that you can do, but I'd hold fire for a few days because on Wednesday FIA will be announcing the next gen of the Formula E cars, so fingers crossed they'll look nice, fingers crossed they'll be decent, so I'd wait till then if you want to hear more news about the Formula E Halo. Daytona 24 hours then. Who watched it? Put your hands up. I can see you all through the screen and 0 of you have put your hands up. I mean, at least the whole way through, and if you have, comment below. That is a big high five to you there. Daytona 24 hours, not quite the Le Mans 24 hours. However, Fernando Alonso thought he'd give it a go this year, and well, it's safe to say his little adventures around the world are not going well, are they? That's all. Oh my god. So if you didn't know, he tried out the Indy 500 last year. Really wanted to do it. Skipped the Monaco Grand Prix, McLaren's best time for points at that point in the season. I think Singapore eventually was their best opportunity, but at the time we didn't know that, and definitely Monaco was. And Fernando didn't do it because he wanted to do the Indy 500, and what happened? Surprise, surprise, his engine blew up. It was a Honda engine, so surely you're thinking Fernando, he's one of the best drivers in the world, he's going to win Daytona, right? You're thinking that in the back of your head, maybe. I'm not a big fan, I don't really followed Le Mans before, or Daytona, or Indianapolis. I'm getting into NASCAR a bit nowadays, trying to get more involved in that. So all these American series I'm slowly trying to get involved in, but it's all pretty fresh, pretty new to me at the moment. However, I still thought Fernando had it in him. Well, the issue wasn't that yesterday. The issue was his car, once again. The story of his career, Fernando's, and his brakes failed. Or supposedly they failed. They came in to get them checked. They managed to get it out again. However, that still put the boys in a P38. That is awful. I bet he's gutted. He was so buzzing as well for this Daytona. And he's walking away with a P38. Fernando cannot catch a break at the moment, can he? I do feel a bit bad for him. I can't deny that. But he's got to get some luck sometime. And if you've seen my prediction video, I'm predicting he'll have some luck this season. So, if you are interested who won the race, it was the number 5 Cadillac DPI of Albuquerque, Barbosa and Christian Fittipaldi, the nephew of Emerson Fittipaldi. Emerson Fittipaldi's relatives are everywhere. You've got his grandson in Formula E testing. You've got his nephew winning the Daytona 24 hours. So the Fittipaldis, good little bunch of racing they are. Very impressive. Very impressive indeed. But will Alonso do it again? Maybe. He's definitely looking for that triple crown, we all know that. He's won the Monaco Grand Prix, he now needs to win the Indianapolis 500 and Le Mans 24 hours, so I don't imagine him doing either this season. I think we all know that. But he might. You don't know Fernando, do you? He's a loose cannon. I think we can all agree with that. 100%. So that rounds up all the news for this week. Sorry, once again, I mentioned it the other day, I'm still not feeling 100%, not quite as ripe as I usually am, as bubbly as I usually try to be in these videos. However, we've got to make do, we've got to bring out these weekly episodes of all the news in Formula 1, Formula 2 and the world of motorsport. Something I'm trying out for next week. If you want, you don't have to chuck a comment for a question. I'm going to do a weekly sort of Q&A at the end of each Formula Weekly. Get your chance to be up on the screen in the next video. If you've got any questions for me, favourite driver, if I've ever been to any F1 races, what I think about a particular topic, particular driver, anything like that. What's my favourite track? Maybe it's just an incident that happened in the past. What do I think of Spygate? What do I think of the PK deliberate crash? Anything like that. Up to you. You could ask me anything that's not even to do with Formula 1 if you really wanted. And next week I'll pick a comment to answer at the end of the video for you guys. But as always, if you have enjoyed this video, Right here on Formula Reviews, we cover all the news in the world of Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula E and everything motorsport. If you have enjoyed, remember to like, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.